every time I think I've gained control, a new temptation appears. It's like I'm constantly walking a tightrope, with every step threatening to send me tumbling into the abyss below. I can feel the chaos building within me, a storm of thoughts and emotions that threatens to break free. But I know that giving in would mean losing the very things that matter most. The temptation to act on my impulses is strong, but so is the fear of the consequences. Every choice feels like a fork in the road, leading me toward either freedom or regret. In the midst of temptation, I find myself questioning everything. What do I want right now? And what do I want for my future? The answers seem so unclear, but I know the wrong decision could cost me dearly. Every temptation I face is like a test of my character. Will I rise above, or will I crumble under the weight of my desires? The stakes are high, and I can feel the pressure building with every passing second. It's easy to lose yourself in the moment, to follow the whispers of temptation. But every time I pull myself back, I remember the person I want to be, the person who doesn't give in to the fleeting desires of the moment. The edge is a dangerous place to stand. Every step closer feels like a risk, and every step back feels like a victory. The temptation is strong, but so is my will to stay in control. When everything inside me screams to give in, I remind myself of the power of self-control. It may not always feel easy, but it's the only thing that can protect me from losing myself. The temptation to fall is like a dark shadow following me everywhere I go. But every time I look up, I see the light of my goals, pulling me forward, urging me to keep going. I stand on the edge, looking down at the temptation below, knowing that if I fall, I may never be able to get back up. But the strength to resist is a reminder that I still have control over my fate. Each time I feel myself slipping, I remind myself that nothing worth having comes without sacrifice. The moment of pleasure isn't worth the long-term pain I'll feel if I let go. It's not always easy to see the future clearly when you're caught in the grip of temptation. But every choice I make now will shape the life I lead in the days to come. I can feel the pull of temptation in every fiber of my being, but I also feel the quiet strength of my resolve. I'm not sure how much longer I can hold on, but I know that giving in would cost me everything. The edge I stand on feels more fragile than ever. One wrong move, one moment of weakness, and I could lose everything. The temptation is strong, but my will to resist is stronger. It's as if I'm walking through a storm, each gust of wind trying to knock me off balance. But I remind myself that even in the chaos, I am the one who decides whether I stay on my feet. The temptation to fall is ever present, but so is the strength to resist. Every step I take away from the edge is a small victory, a reminder that I can control my choices. The hardest part isn't facing the temptation itself. It's the inner battle that rages inside, the constant war between what I want now and what I want in the future. I feel the tug of temptation pulling me toward the edge, but deep down, I know that the moment of surrender will be far more destructive than anything I could gain in the present. Sometimes it's hard to see beyond the temptation in front of me, but I remind myself that there's always more to lose than what's right in front of me. The bigger picture always matters more. Each moment of temptation feels like a test of my strength. The more I resist, the stronger I become, but the fear of losing control always lingers in the back of my mind. I know the consequences of giving in, yet the temptation to let go is overwhelming. The real challenge is holding on to the belief that what I truly want is worth more than this momentary desire. The more I fight the temptation, the more I realize just how much power it has over me. But that power is nothing compared to the strength I gain every time I resist. It's easy to give in to the pull of temptation, but in the quiet moments of reflection, I know that holding on to my control is the only thing that will truly bring me peace. There's something dangerous about standing on the edge, knowing that the smallest push could send me tumbling into chaos. But the real danger lies in losing the strength to resist. Temptation is like a mirror, reflecting all my deepest desires and fears. But every time I look away, I realize that what truly matters is the person I am when I resist, not when I give in. The closer I get to the edge, the more I realize that what I truly want is not the temptation, but the control to rise above it. I am not a slave to my desires. In the quiet moments, my mind wrestles with the temptations I try to push away. It's a delicate balance between the person I want to be and the impulses that threaten to pull me under. Every choice feels like a tug of war, a constant battle between what I know is right and the overwhelming desire that whisper in my ear, urging me to surrender. The line between self-control and chaos has never felt thinner. Each thought, each temptation is a reminder that I am not as strong as I wish to be. It's easy to lose yourself in the heat of the moment, but every time I take a step back, I see how close I am to slipping away from the person I've fought so hard to become. I feel the pull of temptation stronger than ever, but there's a part of me that still fights, still resists. My mind may be wavering, but my heart knows the path I must stay on. The storm of emotions brewing inside me is relentless. It's a battle I never wanted, but now it's all I can feel. The temptation to fall feels like a heavy weight, dragging me closer to the edge. In the stillness, I feel my resolve weakening. Every desire that bubbles up within me challenges everything I've worked for. I'm torn between the comfort of surrender and the peace of staying true to myself. I am standing on the precipice of something dangerous, yet exhilarating. It's tempting to let go, to give in, but a part of me knows that if I do, I will lose more than I can ever regain. Every day is a battle, a test of willpower and endurance. The temptation to give in feels endless, but I know that if I lose control now, I will regret it for the rest of my life. There's a voice inside me urging me to step closer to the edge, to abandon all restraint. But the other voice, the one that whisper of consequences, holds me back, reminding me of what I have to lose. I walk a fine line every day, constantly aware of the danger that temptation brings. But even in the chaos of my emotions, I can hear the quiet strength of my will calling me to stand firm. My thoughts race, spinning in circle as I try to make sense of the feelings I'm experiencing. The urge to lose myself in the moment is overwhelming, yet I know that giving in would cost me far too much. The pull of temptation is undeniable, but every time I take a deep breath and remind myself of my goals, the weight of the moment begins to feel a little less heavy. I feel the tension building within me, the struggle between holding onto my control and giving in to the temptation that promises release. The question is, how long can I hold on? In this moment of weakness, I find myself standing at the edge, looking down at the abyss below. The temptation to fall is strong, but I remind myself that I've climbed too high to let go now. It's not the temptation that frightens me, it's the consequences of losing control. The fear of regret, the fear of never being able to go back to where I was, holds me together when everything inside me screams to give in. The struggle isn't just physical, it's mental and emotional. Every part of me is torn between what I want in the moment and the person I am striving to become. Each temptation that comes my way feels like a test of my resolve. Will I stay strong, or will I succumb to the desire that threatens to unravel everything I've built? I can feel the pressure building, the intense desire to give in creeping up with every passing moment. But I remind myself that losing control would mean losing myself in ways I may never recover from. There's a battle inside me that no one else can see. It's a fight between the present desire and the future consequences, between the fleeting moment and the lasting impact of my choices. I've been at the edge before, but this time feels different. The temptation feels more real, more powerful, and it's all I can do to hold on to the thin thread of self-control I have left. Sometimes the hardest battles are fought within. It's not the world outside that tempts me, but the darkness that rises inside, urging me to give in and lose everything I've worked so hard for. It's like standing at the edge of a cliff, knowing that if I fall, I may never come back. The temptation to let go is strong, but the fear of the unknown is even stronger. I can feel my thoughts slipping away like sand through my fingers. But deep down, I know that if I lose control now, I'll never be able to rebuild what I'm about to destroy. The temptation is like a fire that threatens to consume me. I can feel its heat, its allure, but I know if I let it take over, I'll be left with nothing but ashes. There are moments when the pull to let go is so strong that it feels like everything inside me is being torn apart. But I remind myself that I am stronger than this fleeting urge.